Before we get into this week's episode, I need to address something serious. In my recent past, I was caught saying something extremely uncharacteristic of myself. It's something I regret and frankly was completely inexcusable. I called someone a name that they had no right being called. In fact, it was in last week's episode, to be honest. I kept calling Heather Hannah.
Let's check in on Hannah. Hannah Martin?
I went back and forth between calling her Heather and Hannah.
Heather Martin shows up. Hey, let's check in on Hannah again.
Hannah and Heather.
Heather Martin. So naturally, Hannah's quarantine ends.
And I felt the need to apologize. But with that said, and in my defense, her name should be Hannah. Most girls on reality TV are named Hannah. See, look, Hannah. And her name's Bridget. Just kidding, it's Hannah. Plus, who is the person who talked her into coming on the show? Hannah. Plus, Heather kind of looks like Miley Cyrus. And what was Miley's alter ego? Hannah. So there you have it. I rest my case, Your Honor. This is a Bachelor recap from a guy. So Heather shows up and just joins the show, I guess. And the other girls took it in stride. LOL JK. They were like, I'm literally shaking right now. If she gets the rose, I will be rageful. That is a mother piece of. Meanwhile, Heather's like, I booked a red eye on my own.
For you to do that is like what I've encouraged everyone here to do is be bold and follow your heart.
So then Heather walks out to the other girls. And to be honest, the other girls were really mature about a new girl showing up into what is already a ridiculous way to try and find a husband. No. They tear Hannah to shreds. I feel like the rivalry was renewed. New girl versus new girls and OGs. It's like, where is MJ when we needed her most? We're varsity squad. Bitch, you're not even junior varsity. Your freshman team, your middle school team, your church league basketball team. After she gets her guts ripped to shreds by every girl in the house, she goes back to Matt. And Matt's basically like,
I just gotta follow my heart.
It's too late in the game. I'm sorry. I've got so many relationships with the girls out there. And Heather's like, but I didn't even get to show you how I can balance a pizza box on my head. And then she's probably also thinking, I can't believe I quarantined for 2 weeks for this. But shout out Matt. How many times have I said it this season? He's just a good guy. Probably the most level-headed bachelor we've had in a long time. Like, if some hot girl showed up this late into the season in Pilot Pete's season, that doofus would have proposed on the spot. But poor Hannah, Heather, not only did she get kicked to the curb by the girls, but then like 2 seconds later, Matt James does the exact same thing.
I just didn't expect.
Just a brutal night all around for her. I guess her and Matt will never be together. Look, if anyone gets it, it's me. I know that this show is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will. It's 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason for me to remember the name. Honestly, Heather just needs to wait for whatever relationship Matt chooses to end like 6 months after the show ends, and then she can be the rebound girl. So that night at the rose ceremony, we say goodbye to both Serena C and Chelsea. And if it feels like it's getting real, that's because it is. Next up, Serena P gets her second one-on-one date, which, can we just start calling her Serena now that Serena C is gone? Like, do we still have to clarify that she's Serena P? Or is that like contractual? Like, to me, if Kesha can drop the $, Serena can drop the P. So their one-on-one date card read, can our love go deeper? And if that sounds sexual, well, that's because this date was. They did some tantric yoga.
So tantric yoga is all about tapping into your energy, tapping into your chakras.
And if there's one thing I've learned in my life, if a word is ever put in front of yoga, it's not going to be that great of an experience. And Serena agreed with me because she hated her life the entire time she was straddling Matt James.
Not something I would have chosen for a date today.
I know, right? Someone feeling uncomfortable while straddling Matt James? Like, what woman in her ever-loving mind would hate for an excuse to straddle Matt James? But look, I get it. That's how awkward yoga can be. Like, I always feel awkward in yoga classes. I'm just like, am I doing this right? Why does everyone else here look so peaceful? Is this supposed to be peaceful? Should this be hurting as much as it does? Oh, I definitely just pulled a muscle. No, but for real. Am I doing this right? Should I be sweating this much? Should I be looking as peaceful as everyone else? Oh crap. I gotta fart. So that night at dinner, Matt gives Serena P the rose. She's locked in for hometowns, which is cool because I think she's my new favorite, which probably isn't a good thing for Serena because everyone I start to like, they get sent home. Then the group date card comes and says, love will find a way. So that night he pulls the girls aside and he's basically like, look, if there's anything you need to tell me, now's the time. Lay everything out on the table tonight, which is code for it's going to be a long night, my man. Go ahead and pour yourself another cocktail. I couldn't even imagine asking a girl to open up, let alone 10. So Bree's up first, which maybe this is just me, but I feel like this is the first time she's talked all season. Again, I didn't watch the first 2 episodes, so maybe she did there, but like I just don't remember her talking. She's very beautiful. She seems great. I just don't remember her ever doing anything of significance in this season. But she sits down with Matt and starts to open up. And she tells him that she quit her job to be on this show. I love this move. They may not be able to travel this season, but that didn't stop Bree from sending Matt on a guilt trip. It's like, Matt, if you don't give her a rose, you're going to be sending her back to the unemployment line. Do you really want to make the unemployment rate even higher in this country? That's a strong play by Bree. So then Abigail sits down with him, and Matt basically gives her the line that we've seen him give a couple of girls this season. I'm just growing closer to the other women in the house.
And exploring those relationships with other women and going on those one-on-ones, I did grow strong feelings for them.
Matt's a good guy. He's basically like, look, I'm not going to lead on girls that I'm not into. I mean, who do you think I am? The good doctor? So he walks Abigail out right then and right there. So then it's Kit's turn to pull him aside. And she's extremely forward. She basically tells him, I need you to support me and my lifestyle. I have plans for my life, and you're not about to get in the way of them. I need you to be my cheerleader, to support me through anything I want to do. Oh, and one more thing. I'm probably not going to be ready to settle down and have kids and start a family until at least 25 or 26. And then she says, I'm a long-term investment. Like, what? Having kids at 25 or 26 is a long-term investment? What are you, like Southern Baptist? Which, look, it's a bold move, I gotta admit, to basically tell the Bachelor that you're gonna be a handful and pretty demanding for your entire relationship. No, I'm kidding. But only kind of. But in all honesty, it went really well. And to the point where Kit thought she was going to get the group rose. So naturally, it went to Rachel. And they got to walk off to a private concert by Aloe Black. All due respect to Temecula Road. But this private concert blew Temecula Road out of the water. Meanwhile, the other girls were left crying on the couch. And they weren't crying at the beauty of Aloe Black's voice. So that night, Kit showed up to Matt James's apartment. And Matt was like, I knew I shouldn't have done that one-on-one date here at my apartment, because now she knows where I live. But Kit walks in, and she basically tells Matt, I didn't get the validation I needed. And Matt was like, I still really like you. And she's like, so for that reason, I need to leave. And Matt's like, did you not hear me? I said I like you. And she's like, okay, so I'm gonna go. And Matt's like, okay, I mean, like, I have like 6 or 7 other girls, so that's fine, but I do like you. And Kit's like, I just wish I got the validation I needed. So then comes the second one-on-one date, and it goes to Jesenia. And the date card reads, our love will take a turn. And that's just putting it lightly, folks. Talk about foreshadowing. So they meet up with stunt driver Tony Angelo, who I'm still not fully convinced wasn't just Judd Apatow. So he basically just lets them do donuts in sports cars.
Well, okay.
I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast.
Which I'll admit, like, this date was, like, cute at first. But then they did some, like, legitimate damage to that Dodge Charger.
Did I hit something?
You guys are both maniacs.
But that night at dinner, Matt basically gave Jesenia the speech he gave, like, 8 other girls this episode. My relationship with the other girls is just progressing more than ours. So I'm gonna have to send you home. And Jesenia's like, I felt blindsided. I'm shocked. I feel like a deer in headlights. I did not expect him to break up with me. I thought there was a spark. Plug. I mean, if you can't give me a rose, can you at least give me a petal? I'm sorry, I'm just tired. Am I going to steer clear of other guys in the future? I will. Look, do I regret making that many car puns in a single episode? No. Because you know what they say? Car pun DM. So with Jesenia gone, this now led to the most awkward rose ceremony in years. He only had to hand out 2 roses, which meant only 1 girl got sent home. And for those of you wondering, in a rose ceremony with only 2 roses, yes, Chris does still come out before the final rose and tell us how many roses are left. So the roses go to Bree and Michelle, which meant Piper was gone. And I'm sure that feeling sucked. Like, to get this far into the season just to get sent home. I mean, like, I know it sucked. I witnessed it firsthand. With Kim.
I'm Kimberly. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
In mine when I'm asleep. And I will build my soul in time when I'm kneeling at your feet. Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one.
I'm Kimberly. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Goodbye, my lover. by my friend. You have been the one. You have been the one for me. I'm so hollow, baby. I'm so hollow. I'm so.
Miss you so much, Kim. You never know what you got till it's gone. Okay, that's gonna do it for this week. Thanks for watching. If she gets the rose, I will be rageful. If she gets the rose, I will be rageful. If she gets the rose,
I will be rageful.